Good morning, trader. It's Richard Miller here doing a quick Ichimoku cloud chart market review as well as point and figure chart review on Bitcoin in view of the recent price action. I've got the 4-hour chart on here. It's the Ichimoku cloud chart, and we can see that the Bitcoin managed to find support at the top end of the cloud here. There were two levels to watch out for. The front level here, that's a key support zone, as well as the top end of the cloud here, that's a key support zone. So Bitcoin did manage to rebound from these levels, dipped deep into the cloud and then managed to rebound from these levels. So far so good. The upside target, the first level of resistance, are these standard line and turning line of the cloud. So these are the first level resistance, and then the ultimate top here on the 4-hour would also be the next key resistance level. Now if I'm going to the daily, we can see a Bitcoin is quite extended from the cloud, but we still have a nice strong uptrend in the in the currency, Bitcoin currency. So if you look at rally pullback, every time it gets extended from the top end of the cloud, there's a bit of a pullback, and that normally the pullback is back down to key cloud chart support levels. We can see back in January, February, this level was a major support zone, and we managed to rebound from these levels. We also managed to rebound pretty much close from the front end cloud support zone. Yeah, so that's also encouraging. Every time Bitcoin gets a little bit extended, there's a pullback, extended pullback, and watching closely to see if we will get a further rebound from this 52,400 zone. So that's the downside risk. If support fails at this level, then we'll dip back to the top end of the cloud here as the trend moves higher. Now, important to note that Bitcoin's quite a volatile instrument to trade. This is the 14-day average true range, the daily spread between the high and low. You can see you're really looking at $4,000 as a daily spread. So if Bitcoin moves $500 in a day, that's not particularly significant. We know the average range the last 3 months have been between 3.5 and 4,000. So if you're going to trade this, your stop loss needs to be 1.5 times at least the average true range, or at least the average true range. So watch out for that. It's quite a volatile instrument to trade, and that's why 5 to 10% moves is kind of normal in it. And it's interesting that the news media always tries and explains a major move in Bitcoin, whereas the average true range is 4,000. So anything less than 4,000 is insignificant. Anything more than 4,000 roughly is significant. So 1 or 2,000 drop today would not be a significant in terms of volatility as measured by the average true range. Nevertheless, the daily top end of the cloud is support levels to watch out for, as well as the standard line of the cloud and the front end of the cloud. Yeah, so we've got 3 levels, support levels to deal with at the moment on Bitcoin. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see quite extended from the top end of the cloud, practically vertical. Quite a lot of risk in this for a potential correction. Huge rally consolidation. We might have another big leg up and then have a big bit of a consolidation back to the top end of the cloud, or the standard line or turning line, standard line levels to the downside. Watch out for these levels for a possible snapback. But that's the story from a cloud chart perspective. Just key levels to watch out for, as we highlighted now, is this standard line here, 52,400. We could see a bit of a rebound from that level, fail that, and then the top end of the cloud. And if we just go back to our 4-hour chart, just to recap, we can see we're so far so good, having a little bit of a rebound from the top end of the cloud. There is downside risk to the bottom end of the cloud, 52,200, so watch out for that. But so far the trend is okay. Price action's above the cloud, and that's bullish. The average true range on the 4-hour is about $1,700, just under $2,000, $1,500. So you can see a $1,500 swing either way, which would kind of be within the normal price volatility of Bitcoin. Now let's turn to the point and figure charts, and here is a 250 by 3 point and figure chart. That means we're looking at a 750 drop. So let's say if the price keeps going up like we've had here, every box is $250, and then we have a reversal. Now for the price to start from, to trigger a sell signal, is when this O appears on the point and figure chart. That means we've had a 750 point drop to the downside, and that's a reversal. So that's the box size, 250 times 3, 750. and that's the reversal to the downside. So that's kind of what we the trigger that we got over here when we started looking at cashing out on the long, for example. This occurred after Bitcoin met the 57,250, 59,750, and got very close to the next target there, but it's still way off. And let me just put this target, point and figure target, in there. You can see this. So there's massive targets, very high targets high up, but we do need to see, for these to be activated, we need to get past this level again. So that will activate these targets, for example. But those are levels to the upside to watch out for. But after Bitcoin hits a few targets to the upside, one can expect a bit of a reversal. You can see after 55,000, it did eventually reverse. Got very close to the 58,000, which was a much longer point and figure chart target, so to speak. Okay, so we've got these two targets, which was met. These two targets, when Bitcoin moved past the 51,000, that triggered this target, 57,250, as well as when it passed this level here, 48, it activated that target, 59,750, and Bitcoin met both those targets. It sometimes overshoots, give and take a few points, then made the 750 point reversal. So we had the sell signal there, take profit. Now how far down can this sell-off? Can go all the way down to 45,000. So there's downside risk about 19% in the current downtrend on Bitcoin. So there is a bit of a risk in that. If we look at that one there, so the 42.5. Now what's interesting is there's these trend lines. So Bitcoin needs to break these trends to the downside. So far the trend is still up, and we have a bit of a consolidation, a volatile consolidation to the downside on the point and figure. And what we look for, any kind of support to come back in Bitcoin for a potential rebound. Now what you're looking for a buy signal in and around these levels is you're looking for a 750 point move to the upside, so that we have a little X in that spot. That will be the trigger point to buy on a point and figure chart basis. Okay, now that's the daily point and figure, 250 by 3. Now if we're going to look at a little bit more fine-tuned, we've got the 60-minute point and figure. It's a little bit more intraday, so you have a better feeling of what's going on in the market. So we can see we have had numerous upside point and figure target. I can just look at that there. Add the other one there. Let's add another one in there. So there. So back here when we had the huge reversal in March, Bitcoin triggered when it passed that high there at 49,250, it triggered the 54,250 point and figure target, and when it got beyond the 51,250, it then triggered the 58,000 point and figure target, and the trend went up. Then it consolidated, grinded higher, activated a few shorter term targets, 58.5, which eventually met. And if we look at this one, just taken there, that one is much higher up, so that one's a little bit far away. There's a cluster of point and figure at 64,000, so there's upside potential up to 64,000. Two other targets, 62.5, 61,250 was met, and then it reversed lower. So watch out if don't know why that. Watch out for the reversal. Now what's interesting, we've got a reversal at trend support. So on a 60-minute, there's upside potential in Bitcoin because it managed to rebound very close to a cluster of point and figure chart support, this trend line here, as well as got very close to meeting that 54,000 target to the downside. So then we got our reversal at this trend line support. So Bitcoin is currently rebounding from this trend line support. And if I want to put a target in there, this current rally can last up to 58,750. So there is a potential for that. As long as it doesn't make a reversal to the downside, this rebound from this 45-degree point and figure chart trend is the key support zone. So when it started selling off, what we were looking for is support to come in at the trend here, and if it's close to a point and figure chart target. So that gives you a bit more comfort that maybe we'll get a reversal to the upside. But watch out, 750 is a volatility, we look at it from a volatility perspective. So if there's a reversal to the downside of more than 750, that would start changing the point and figure chart as well. Okay, so watch out for these levels. Major support zones at 54,000, then 52,250 and 51,250. So there's a lot of support to break through to the downside if Bitcoin shows more weakness. But currently, short-term uptrend on a 60-minute, 58,750 is the upside target. But be aware, for any type reversal that can just activate downside targets, then we might see 47,500, but it'll have to get through all these downside resistance or support levels, so to speak. But back to the daily, not a very useful chart because Bitcoin is so volatile. You can see if we zoom out, you can see how volatile it is. Huge moves. 45 is the downside target. Yeah, it met the upside targets. So Bitcoin, let's say it does a 50% retracement of this move, so we could see, around about 54, 50, this area here as a potential rebound on the daily. But so far so good on the 60-minute chart. We've got a little bit of support here, fighting trend line support on the 60 minutes. We had a reversal to the upside of more than 750 points based on the point and figure chart analysis. So these are the short-term upside targets, provided that the momentum, Bitcoin maintains upward momentum from a point and figure chart basis. But be aware of the downside risks. We have a few downside targets, but we have a tremendous amount of support to get through in terms of breaking through these levels to the downside. So far so good. Short-term uptrend on a 60, still not out the woods on the daily, so there's some downside risk here. But since we've had this rally, this is starting to get, if you look at it at a 30 or 40 or 50% retracement, if we will get a upside scenario there to the upside. But nevertheless, keep an eye on those point and figure chart targets to know when it's the key reversals in Bitcoin. Until next time, happy cloud chart and point and figure chart trading.